It is evolving, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I have that kind of sensibility where a lot of people now look to me because they know my track record and I kind of represent a particular type of character. But what's exciting for me is that the horror genre lends itself to emerging filmmakers. We know now technology has changed. People can make films, and they can also tell stories with genre and just bend them slightly. It seems like we're not stuck in conventional genre tropes. We can just twist, we can experiment, and so I feel that we're less restricted by lack of budget now than we ever were. The other side of that, the problem is that our viewing audience gets drowned in an ocean of material, right? And so once you've made the film, how do you get the thing seen? And how do you get your voice heard? I think it's great that there are many more voices out there. It's a question of then what happens. And I get a little worried that sometimes it's the people that merchandise and package themselves best get heard. Because it's, you know, art is not about merchandising. And it's a big part of it, and it's a big part of this as we're here today, and I get it, and I understand the geek quality, you know, like me too, you know, it's the kind of, like, I like stuff, I like things, but we'll see where it goes. And I think the danger is that whenever an emerging filmmaker finds a new story or a new kind of idea to break through, the mainstream will come on and make that the only thing, the only game in town. So, you know, but we're moving forward, and I gotta say that I'm here this year with Rodrigo from Rue Morgue, Rodrigo Guinano, and with the Foresight Features guys, and there's two examples of amazing Canadian filmmakers being creative within their constraints. I never felt from the word go that they were doing a poor man's version of a horror film. I always felt that they were doing a horror film, and I think that that's the case with anybody. One of the things is I've been working in conjunction with Foresight Features. They're these guys that are based in Collingwood. They live very close to Tony Burgess, who is a well-known writer. He wrote Pontypool, he's written a bunch of novels. He comes from Stayner, Ontario. So in this area in Toronto, north of Toronto I should say, out of Toronto, is an emerging film infrastructure. They bang out films and they produce them. They're fearless. I mean, they say, okay, we're going to do a film, we're going to do it. And if there's hurdles in the way, they jump over them and they figure them out. And so I'm here promoting 3 films that I did back to back last summer: Ejector, Hellmouth, and Septic Man. So those are coming up. I'm also in Jean-Pierre Junet's new film. He's the French director that did Amélie and a whole Delicatessen, a whole bunch of very interesting films. And he also did Alien. I think, is it 2 or 3? I'm not quite sure. That was his only other English language film. I'm doing anyway. That T.S. Spivet is coming out in about 2 months here in Canada. So I'm in that, and more recently I was in Man of Steel, which was kind of cool. And I think it goes back to my point. Working on these independent horror features. One of them was a green screen project, and I got to say that the approach and the thoroughness with which the filmmakers were doing it was equal to that of Superman. Like, even though there's a huge difference in scale, obviously, and resources, I felt that the guys in Ontario that were doing their backyard version of a horror film with green screen had every bit as integrity and insight and preparation as the big film.